So when the Old Cultural Council in Massachusetts established a program to support the commission of new works, we applied and we commissioned 2 works at the beginning of the 80s. One work was an orchestral piece written by the noted Jamaican composer then working in Paris, Noel da Costa, titled Primal Works, and it was performed with the Boston Pops Orchestra about 1985. At the same time, we commissioned Eternal Presence, and the 2 were twin commissions. Eternal Presence took raising a lot of money because what we got from the state was at best seed money, and we didn't complete raising the money and installing it until 1987. So this work is an evidence of the deep commitment that Miss Lewis had to the arts as a living expression and to the creation of new works. In the creation of this work, we said to John that we wanted to celebrate human creativity and human spirituality from the beginning of the human family to the present. So the piece is intended to be universalist. That universalism was also an important dimension to how Miss Lewis understood the arts. It was her belief that young people should know the tradition, which is their legacy. But it's also her belief that a tradition is a platform from which you can embrace the world. So there was no notion of limitation in the knowledge of tradition, but rather that tradition would be the support from which you could then make a difference in any form that you chose to commit yourself to. Now, in this piece which John created for us, he brought together a number of inspirations when he had been a student at the School of the Museum of Fine Arts, from which he graduated in 1944. He'd been deeply impressed by the tradition of the Buddha. So there's a bit of debt here to the great contemplating Buddha. In 1949 through the mid-50s, John lived and worked in Mexico. There is a second very large influence here of the Olmec traditions, of the giant stone heads from before the era of Columbus. There's also an integration of a number of ideas widely held in religion and other stories of the origin of the human family. For example, it's emphasized that we are the same materials as the earth, minerals and so forth. So the piece is designed so when you first come there and you see it, it rises out of the slope of earth as if the earth were shoulders to the head, expressing the idea that we are physically one with nature, but the head and the ability to think represents the possibility to be creative and to be responsible. The piece is 7 feet, it's bronze, and it has the kind of permanence that Miss Lewis would like her work to have.